Today on the 50-pound brain, we're gonna do a little work on Higgins. My bumper mounts I made have actually never been painted or powder coated or anything. They're still raw steel. And we're getting ready to move to the jungle where the humidity is stifling. So I don't want them to rust out. So we're gonna pull them off, and then we're gonna decide whether we just do a rattle can or do we actually go get them powder coated. Let me show you what's going on. So you can see we got a lot of rust, and plus we need to figure out a better way to make these not so wiggly. But yeah, we need to get on top of this rust before it just gets uglier. So we're going to pull these babies off. It's not hard, just a couple bolts, and then I'll show you what they look like. I really do like the look of that better, but it's illegal to roll without any kind of a front bumper. So we got to keep Higgins on the right side of the law. This one is rock solid, and this one is quite wiggly. So we're going to see what the difference is here. What is happening here? I don't want to mess up the threads. That's faux show. Why isn't this thread on? That one does. That's weird. So, oh, I think what happens, oh, I see what's happened. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'll show you what's going on. Okay, so here's the deal. This is an OEM bolt. The head is just smaller, but this part is fitting down into the hole in the bracket, and so it pulls this up tight against the bracket, whereas this one is a homemade one because I only came up with one of these that was salvageable. That's why the one nut wouldn't thread onto the other one, because they're completely different thread. Turned down carriage bolt from the hardware store. But when this bottoms out on the bracket, there's still plenty of wiggle in this bumperette. So what I need to do, looks like, is chuck this up in the lathe so that I turn down a little bit and make this turn maybe even just the corners here to this diameter, so it'll fit into the hole in the bracket, and the bolt will draw down tighter and the head will tighten up against the bumperette. Or maybe I can find another one of these. I don't know. This thing's wonky. Oh yeah, you can look at the teeth the threads are sawtooth. Thing's like 1,000 years old. These are still in good shape, other than, this little bit of surface rust. It's pretty easy to tell which one I did first. I'm going to say this one. Oh wow, these are two different lengths too. Interesting. Oh well. They serve the purpose. Yeah, we'll just give them a good wire brushing. And see if I got some rust inhibiting primer. All right, we've powder coat in a can on our bumper mounts, and they came out looking pretty good. It's probably about 4 coats of paint. And the other big win, these don't wiggle anymore. So we got that cured. So let's get these installed. Well, I know it's not a real noticeable difference, but it'll be sweet. So we get to Florida, get to the jungle. They're not rusting. So now our next task is to install our "hey, you left your lights on" warning indicator, buzzer, whatever you want to call it. And we got to take this down to do it. So let's investigate that. So this is what we're installing. There's the part number, you can see it, from DigiKey. I guess you can get it other places too. I just get most of my stuff from DigiKey. I did extend the wiring. You see my splices or solder joints there, and clear heat shrink tube, just because I didn't know where this is going to end up under the dash and where the 2 locations we're going to hook to, terminal locations, are going to be. So let's pull down the instrument panel and see what we got. So the first thing we do before we go into the dash is disconnect the battery, because the dash is full of open metal connections. I don't want to burn this car down. So now that we've done that, let's see what it takes to get this dash panel down. And there's where we're going. So yeah, I gotta remember how this thing looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4 wing nuts. 2 in the center there, and then bottom corners. All right, I gotta put you down. What's gonna hold us up is the choke cable, because it's the shortest. That sucks. Well, I don't want to disconnect that from the carburetors, but I might have to. Yeah, that is a guitar string now. This is where we'd have to disconnect it, and then off of the bottom of the front carburetor here, linkage. Ooh man, carb nut is chafing on our harness. Let's see, we can... yeah, that's no bueno. Huh. Okay. We'll have to do something about that too. Luckily it hasn't gotten through the sheathing. We got the cable disconnected. We should be able to get the dash down now. That is just, yeah, unacceptable. Those are interconnected. There you have it. Okay. So I need to go probably from the headlight switch to, maybe I'll go to the fuse side of the ignition switch controlled circuit. You've got a hot circuit and a ignition switch controlled circuit. And yeah. Let's see if you can see this. All these screw terminals that are in here. So we just need to get up under one of these screw terminals and add our wire. Or I guess I could do it right here on panel lights. This is one on top. Let's see if you can see it. This switch, if I'm on it gets power from this switch. As soon as you go to side, this is hot. And it's a whole lot more convenient because it's right there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip tie it to this thing right here, that structure, and then we'll run the wires over here into here. I need the positive needs to be on the light circuit side, and the negative needs to be on the ignition switch side, so that when the key is off, it will get a ground through everything else on that ignition switch controlled circuit, and it'll get power from the light switch circuit and it'll scream. If I do it reversed, anytime I turn the lights on, it would, or anytime the key is on, I'm sorry, anytime the key is on, it'll be screaming, and then the only way to turn it off would be to turn the lights on, because it is polarized. So we got our key on. And then we turn our key off, and that's what we get. I hope you can hear that, but it's quite annoying. So here's our red wire going to the panel light switch, and the black wire is going to the starter side, hot side of the starter side switch when the key is on. It was easier than getting into this thing, so hope you can see that. So that's how we're wired up. All right, now that we're all back together, okay, here's the test. Lights are on. Hope you can hear that. Yay! Still works. Just got back from putting Higgins back in his room. His buzzer worked good. I drove over there with the lights on and turned them off with the lights on, and it still works. Everything seems to still work. I did notice I had forgotten about, but I noticed that when the instrument lights are on, the tach is dead. As soon as you turn the instrument lights off, then it works normal. So it's getting a ground through the lighting circuit. So we've got to run a good ground to the tach. But other than that, he still runs great. He doesn't dig the cold. Never has. You got to ride the choke for a while. Once he gets warmed up, though, he's all right. We're getting ready to move to Florida, finally making the move. So I've got to get him prepped for being trailered to Florida. So I don't know how much more you'll see of him before we leave next month. So, but as always, I hope this was informative. I hope this helped somebody. And thanks for watching.